everybody. Once again, Ed Rosenberg, and this afternoon I'm with James Thomson from The Prosper Show. James, how you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me on, Ed.
Okay, definitely my pleasure. And I know The Prosper Show, which was a smashing success last year in Utah, which I enjoyed immensely, and I know many sellers did. So it's going to be a lot bigger and better this year. Want to tell us a little bit what you have in store?
Sure. So, thank you for your kind comments about the last show in February. Prosper, as you know, is a continuing education conference for sophisticated sellers, for established sellers who have made the decision around wanting to continue to build their business with good content, with good contacts, networking, access to the right kind of service providers and solution providers. We have created the Prosper Show specifically for large sellers to be able to network with each other, specifically to bring the very best content for discussions. Quite frankly, there are a lot of shows out there, and they may talk about a number of issues. We're talking about issues that we think are imminent discussion points, things that sellers need to be aware of, things that sellers need to be learning about so they can remain competitive and hopefully more competitive than everybody else. So we've moved from Salt Lake to Las Vegas. I'm sure most of your listeners have been to Las Vegas for one conference or one trade show or another. Whether you like Vegas or not, Vegas is a place to have trade shows and conferences because there's lots of hotels, there's lots of big venues. We're very fortunate that we're actually co-located this year with the ASD and Source Direct events at the Las Vegas Convention Center. So those two events are among the largest sourcing shows in the United States. We're excited specifically about the Source Direct portion of their conference, which is a group of about 500 factories and manufacturers from overseas who are coming to exhibit and basically helping anybody who's at all interested in private label products. This is a low-cost way to come and learn about private label sellers and what it takes to start sourcing overseas. So that's all a bonus that comes with our Prosper Show. You get all the education and all the networking of Prosper, but you also get the benefits of a free ticket to ASD and Source Direct, which will be also located at the convention center. So lots of stuff going on. I think of it as a way to invest 3 to 4 days and come out and meet other large Amazon sellers, meet really, really interesting speakers, but also be able to build your business through networking with different providers, product providers through ASD and through Source Direct.
Right. What I liked about the show in Utah is, like, we have these mini events in New York, and then you're basically networking with people who you know or you've seen around. And Prosper to me seemed like more of a worldwide, global conference. How many countries are people coming from? Do you have that offhand?
I think last time we had 13 countries represented. I've had some very interesting inquiries already this year. People saying, "Why don't you just move Prosper to insert whatever miscellaneous country?" I'm like, listen, we're still building out the U.S. As much as I'd like to be in 187 countries. It's a big endeavor to get the process underway. So I'm still expecting that we're going to have over a dozen countries represented. We certainly have speakers from the U.S., from the UK, from Austria and Germany. And quite frankly, I'll draw speakers from anywhere around the world if I think that they can bring a unique perspective to the content that sellers need to be hearing about. So we've definitely gone out of our way to draw speakers who you wouldn't normally see at an Amazon conference, or for that matter, for any kind of online conference, but people who have a unique perspective and are working on issues that affect Amazon sellers. I've got someone coming to talk about the Internet of Things, technologies that affect private label sellers. I've got someone coming to talk about multi-state tax nexus, not a necessarily exciting topic, but one that's definitely critical to most FBA sellers in Amazon. I have a number of folks coming to talk about issues from a little bit different perspective than what we normally hear. People who are doing things in an unusual way, that when I was listening to the speakers talk to me about the kinds of things they were wanting to talk about, I saw unique ideas that I thought we need to definitely share these ideas with a broader Amazon audience. So a very interesting agenda. The whole conference is being videotaped. So for folks who can't be sitting in 3 sessions at once, you can watch the sessions afterwards on video. So there's a lot of intense training. When we got feedback from attendees at the last show, it was kind of amusing, but the single biggest piece of feedback we got was there was too much content, too much learning, too many things coming at them. How do I make choices about where to go? And my response to that is bring a colleague, conquer and divide. We want to make sure that there's so much good content that it is difficult to make those decisions about where to go, who to go listen to. So I take very seriously the whole concept of every single session needs to bring value in a way that at the end of the session, you can walk out of the session and say, I need to call back to the office. And we need to start doing things differently to improve our Amazon seller business. So
Right.
that's where we stand.
So who are some of the fresh faces that are going to be there, which like I haven't seen before?
Well, these are not household names, but there are definitely folks. We have a guy I mentioned earlier about tax. We've got a guy coming from a guy called Richard Cram, who is head of the Multi-State Tax Commission for the United States.
Wow.
He's going to come and talk about sales tax issues related to FBA. We have a guy, our keynote speaker. His name is Rick Cesari. He was the mastermind behind the George Foreman Grill and GoPro and Clarisonic. He's going to come and talk about what it means to actually build a very, very successful private label brand, and what are the techniques necessary to promoting and building the brand. And then we have about 30 speakers in all coming from all over the world. We've got a pair of gentlemen from Germany coming to talk about their private label empire that they built. Guys who are ex-Amazon people who left Amazon to go build a private label business, but did it in a very unusual way. And when I talked with them and learned about their story, I thought this is definitely something that folks need to hear about. So we've got about a dozen former Amazon business leaders who are going to speak, as well as as I mentioned, about 30 different speakers across the world coming in to share their knowledge. This is not about folks coming to lecture. This is about folks coming to engage and have conversations. These folks are all going to be available before and afterwards to talk with attendees, to share ideas, and to bounce ideas off of each other. So, quite frankly, for all the distractions that Vegas may provide, this is intensive 2 days of training. And while I want people to network and go out and have a good time, it's also important to understand that there's 2 solid days of content. And so to the extent that people want to have a good time in Vegas, my recommendation is come early and do that, or stay late and do that. But think about Prosper as a 2-day investment in your Amazon seller business. Now, if you want to make it even a bigger investment opportunity, we have the day before the show, we have 4 very, very in-depth workshops on key topics that sellers may want to learn a whole lot more about. Those workshops are extra cost, but intensive, what I think of as graduate level training on specific issues like sourcing from China, Amazon accounting, issues around sponsored products, and then how to drive traffic from off of Amazon onto your Amazon listings. So for those folks that want to come and make even further use of the opportunity to learn, those workshops on March 21st are available. All the details you can see on prospershow.com. We've got all sorts of details there, and I'm certainly happy to answer any questions from folks who are thinking about whether this particular event makes sense for their own business. I'm happy to take emails at info@prospershow.com. And so we'll go from there.
Yeah, and you definitely have a big fan club and following in ASGTG group. And
one of the things I also want to mention is we have made sure that we have kosher food throughout the event, and we have daily prayer. And in fact, one of our board members has arranged for one of the Las Vegas rabbis to come and lead prayer a couple days. So for folks that makes sense, that will all be arranged and available for folks on site.
Okay, we definitely appreciate that. But when you mentioned about the speakers, I think you left out one of the most important speakers.
Well, Ed Rosenberg is coming as well. He's going to come in all his glory, and he's going to drop knowledge on everyone. And very excited to have you part of the event, Ed.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me. What always interests me is, and it seems like there's a lot of ex-Amazonians around, and
yes,
always intriguing. But
yep,
I think you told me something about somebody from presently from Amazon. Is that correct?
We actually don't have anybody presently from Amazon coming. As much as I would like to have Amazon content, I haven't had a good experience with Amazon people who are currently at Amazon being able to come to events and talk about things at a level of detail that sellers actually want to hear. I've been to events where Amazon folks are there and they present, and it's very high level, but they won't answer any specific questions, either because their legal department says don't talk about it, or Amazon hasn't rolled something out completely and they're not ready to talk about it. And so it actually becomes a little bit frustrating having an Amazon person present, but they can't talk about the stuff that we want to hear. So I think the better option is bring people who have recently left Amazon, who are happy to talk about what's actually going on and how they think about things, have them participate and share their ideas. So
Yeah, I agree.
There may well be Amazon folks in the crowd listening, concealing the fact that they're from Amazon. But at the end of the day, I want there to be open discussion. I don't want people to feel like, ooh, Amazon's watching me. When I say my company is XYZ company, it's not like someone from Amazon is going to type it in and go, ooh, we better watch out for the seller. I don't want any of that kind of stuff. This is supposed to be open learning opportunities for everyone. And so we actually have not specifically asked anyone from Amazon to come and speak because I want to keep it very, very open, lots of back and forth discussion and opportunities for people to learn from each other.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I know from last time there was definitely an advanced for serious sellers. So that's pretty much the crowd you're gearing to, I think. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, this is not meant for someone who's brand new to Amazon. This is typically, I mean, last year, over half of our sellers did over $1 million of sales on Amazon. Certainly many sellers didn't do as much as $1 million, but we want folks who have been on the platform for at least a year or two. They've already experienced some headaches. They've seen some frustration with dealing with Amazon. And they're asking the question, how do I make sense of this platform? How do I keep growing? How do I protect what's important to me in my business? Where do I need to be flexible? What are the right kind of tools for me to be aware of that might help make my business more efficient? Certainly for brand new sellers, which is one of the reasons we don't specifically target that seller group. Many brand new sellers are not yet busy enough in the job of running an Amazon business that they're not experiencing 20-hour days, 22-hour days, 35-hour days during Q4. I want sellers who have been pushed to the point of saying, I have to get my own warehouse. I have to get a shipping partner. I need to get a finance partner. I need to get software partners to manage inventory. These are the kinds of growth. These are good problems to have, where you get to be big enough that you actually need to start thinking about how to become more efficient, how to become operationally better run, so that you can focus your time on finding the right products and making sure you're profitable, rather than having to create a listing every day or having to go back and do tactical stuff and filling your days with just the tactical stuff. I want folks to think of this conference as an opportunity to think about the business rather than about the specifics of being in the business. So think about how to grow your business rather than work on your business, not in your business, for the purpose of this event.
Right. Wow, that was great stuff. And I'm definitely excited. So it's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you, Ed, for having me.
Yeah, and I'm going to post all the information, your contact information, and the links below in the video. And
great.
I'm looking forward.
Great. Thanks very much, Ed.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.